Hey guys, it is time for disease of the day. This week, I don't really want to talk about disease, but I want to talk about something very important that's going to help you if you do suffer from any diseases. And today I want to talk about supplementation. This is a really big question, and I have this question raised to me probably a couple times a week. And it is, supplement or not to supplement? That is the question, right? And somebody's going to show up a lot of times to me on initial consultation, and they show up with a list of 20 supplements. They're not sure if they need them. They're taking the right brand, the right dosage, the right timing of the day. Does it even making a difference? Is it hurting them? Is it harmful? And I also have other people that are not taking anything and they're curious, should they be taking something? And there is really a field of medicine that is devoted to this, and it's called orthomolecular medicine. And orthomolecular medicine is, by definition, the prevention and treatment of physical and mental disease by the provision of the optimal molecular environment for the body, especially the optimum concentrations of substances normally present in the body. What does that mean? So that is, there is a prevention and treatment of physical and mental disease by creating optimum concentrations of substances normally present in the body. But there's also a very clear understanding in orthomolecular medicine that for some individuals, those optimum concentrations of these certain substances may vary greatly from the concentrations normally found in the average population, right? And so basically, not everyone's the same. This isn't cookie cutter. This isn't a cookie cutter recipe where everyone takes the same supplement and it's going to make everyone feel amazing. Now, nutritional medicine, which I focus on, is a little different than orthomolecular medicine. We're very similar, except orthomolecular medicine is all about supplementation. Nutritional medicine is about using food when appropriate and supplements when necessary. And so I focus on diet first, supplements if necessary. So it is not everyone that comes to me is going to need a supplement, and I don't recommend supplementations for everyone. And both nutritional medicine and orthomolecular medicine really strive to achieve this optimal molecular environment in the body. And this is where that question, the rationale for nutritional supplementation comes into play. So there's a couple reasons why we need to be taking supplements nowadays in certain situations. And that is because the standard American diet, if you are in America, has huge deficits of nutrients. And that's due to modern farming techniques, and it has really decreased the nutrient value over the years. And there's two reasons for that. So one is soil depletion. We have overfarmed the land, because we need to produce more. The population's increased. We're eating more. And also we had to shift. So instead of depleting the soil itself by overfarming, we switched to varieties of plants that produce higher yield at expense of the nutrient value. So these farmers over the years had to produce plants that were able to produce more of a yield, a higher yield with less nutrient value. And that's what we're getting nowadays. And so they did some research, and you know me, I love my research. And they checked the, micronutrients in plant foods and how they decreased over time between the years of 1940 and the year 2000. And a couple of them are pretty shocking. And I want you to understand this ended the years 2000. We are well over 20 years past that. So they have decreased, I can guarantee you, even more than they did back then. So for example, calcium decreased almost 30% in that time frame. Iron decreased 32%, magnesium 35%, riboflavin almost 40%, and copper decreased over 80% in that time frame, their nutrient composition in these plants. And that's very important to understand that when you are eating the best diet that you think you can, that maybe you need to be eating a little bit more of certain foods that are carrying certain micronutrients, certain minerals, vitamins that could be beneficial. And that is where, I do tend to recommend eating a little bit more of certain vegetables if it's going to help you in certain areas. But there are certain situations where you need more of certain nutrients to heal than can even be found in food, and the herbs, spices, all of those other things. And that's where you really need to see the professionals to understand, are you in that group that really is going to need an extremely higher value of this supplement, of this nutrient? Now, there's also a question that comes into play about the RDA, because everyone sees that in on the back of their, any of their supplements, their packages, and it's going to talk, even their food, it talks about the RDA, the limit, the RDA value of this food item for the day, of these nutrients in the food. I want to clarify something. When you see the words RDA, this recommended daily allowance, that recommended daily allowance is the average daily nutrient intake sufficient to meet the requirements of a healthy individual in a particular life stage and gender. So that is not everyone. That is a very specific population of a healthy individual that's a certain gender and a certain life stage. And it's very clear that the RDA is not meant for people who are suffering from disease. They're not meant to be followed as guidelines if you have metabolic disorders, if you're taking certain medications, or if you're even predisposed to certain diseases because of factors, say, for example, increased stress, lack of sleep, food allergies, environmental toxin exposure, insulin resistance, even high cholesterol. Those can all affect your recommended daily allowance of certain minerals, certain vitamins, certain nutrients that your body is going to need. That's really why you want to talk to professionals so that we can dive into what's going on and what could be beneficial. Because sometimes having a little bit more of a certain food is going to really be helpful that has a very high concentration of a micronutrient. And Carlton Fredericks really said it best is when you're talking about this RDA value, it is basically the minimum requirement for minimum daily health. That's it. It is the minimum. So if you are getting the RDA of any specific nutrient, vitamin, mineral, whatever you're looking at, you're actually getting the minimum requirement for a healthy individual. And if you meet any of those requirements that I just mentioned that would exclude you from being considered in that group of the RDA healthy individuals, you're probably going to need a little bit different amounts. And that's where I really want you to see a professional. Sign up, grab a consultation with me. It's really easy. Take an hour. We'll go over it. We'll look at what your unique body situation is, look at what's going on in your health, and we can decide, can you supplement that with food or do you need some supplementation? And I will tell you that you want to speak to somebody who understands orthomolecular medicine because not every supplement is the same. There are very little, regulations and guidelines when it comes to supplements. They can put a lot of junk out there, and they do. And you really need to know exactly what you're getting, how it's, you want to know how is it made, how is it sourced, what you're putting in your body. You don't want to blindly go in and grab something off the shelf and assume it is what it says in the bottle, because I will tell you, there have been so many studies where what is on the bottle actually isn't in the supplement at all. And there's a lot of times there can be a lot of bad things added in there as well, including heavy metals, toxins, things like that. That's why you really want to talk to somebody like me, where I have done the research. That's what I enjoy doing. I know exactly what's going to work, what one doesn't. And a lot of times we can use food to supplement instead, which is even better. So if you don't have to take a supplement, then we don't want you to. But when you do, we want you to choose the right ones. So please like, comment, share. Let me know what you think. Grab a consultation. Let's talk about it. And let's see, maybe you don't need a supplement and maybe you do. And let's see where you fall and really get your unique health situation in order. Have a great day, guys.